I'm Abigail Millett for BYU-Idaho Radio, and today I'm here on the phone with Will Baxter, and his band will be playing at Downtown Sounds in Driggs, Idaho on June 12th, 6 to 8 p.m. Will, before we start talking about your group and what you do, can you tell us a little bit about yourself so our audience can get to know you?
Well, hello, everybody. I am part of the Will Baxter Band. We've been playing in Salt Lake City, Utah, and around for 13 years now, maybe a little more. And we have a super great band with some really wonderful players. We've got socially conscious music, great message. We love old school soul and R&B. We play some funk. We play some folk, Americana, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. So thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, this is super exciting to have you guys playing locally soon because you're from the Salt Lake City area. Is that where you grew up too?
No, I grew up in northern Colorado, Fort Collins, Colorado. I was actually born in Dallas, but grew up in Colorado and moved here to Utah 18 years ago.
Awesome. And you've been a musician for how long? How did your musical how did you become a musician?
You know, I moved here to Salt Lake when I found out that I was going to be having a daughter, and very early on in her life, I kind of had like a moment of like, what can I really like teach this new person, this young person about life and what it's all about. And I realized that I could teach her through my life and actions that life is about following your dreams and believing in yourself. And I had worked in kitchens since I was 15, and I just kind of decided, I'm gonna chase this dream for both of us, for her and myself. And I think I finally was able to quit my day job in my late 20s when she was very young. And yeah, like I said, it's been like 13 or so years now of doing this professionally, full time. And yeah, so that was kind of the catalyst to that. So I owe a lot of that to her, and just just kind of inspiring me to try to follow my dreams.
I think that's such a good message. Definitely we are inspired by the people around us and the people we live for. And
for sure.
I love how you chased your dream. What would you say to young musicians from BYU-Idaho, for example, that would want to play in bands or play professionally? How would you suggest they do that?
There's only like 3 words that I could say with any kind of honesty, and that's never give up. Don't give up. I mean, that's really all it is. I mean, the second you give up, it's kind of over. That dream is over, and it's going to be up and down. It's going to be a long road. And I mean, if you're chasing this for money or for fame or validation or recognition, it's probably not going to work. But if you just want to be a better musician, and you can only be a good a musician as you are of a person, so they all kind of go hand in hand. Like live a righteous life, be a good person, be a good musician, and those are my goals, honestly, is just to try to be better, like write better music, be a better player, be a better bandmate, a band leader. Just as the same way I want to be a better friend and a better partner, better husband, a better father. And it's all just kind of connected, like it's, as Wayne Shorter said, like music is just like a drop in the ocean of life. And, just do the right thing, say the right things, think the right things, and don't get discouraged. Don't give up. Just keep on going. And we had a really like rough gig last night, honestly, but we've got another chance or two tonight to kind of make up for that and change that. And don't get too high on it, don't get too low. Just try to find that middle, even ground, and just keep on working, keep pushing towards it, and enjoy it. Like being able to play music, being able to be on your instrument or sing is such a gift, and we have the opportunity to share that with other people and to make their lives better and hopefully brighter through that act that we love so much. So it's all connected, just don't stop, don't give up.
I love that. And your band, the Will Baxter Band, how did that form, and what's kind of your guys' style of music, you would say?
Well, we probably formed at least 15 years ago, and at the time we were a organ trio, which is this really talented friend of mine. His name's Adam Fifield, and he plays the incredible piano, and he'd play bass with his left hand on the keys and an organ with his right, and then guitar and drums. So there's the three of us. The drummer was this great guy named Wachira Wagwa Stone. And Adam had an idea of, making the band a name that it could carry on. So in case the members changed or somebody quit or something, we could just like keep the name going. And my name is actually Will Roney, but my middle name is Baxter, and both Adam and I and Wachira were huge fans of Ray Charles. And with Ray Charles' story, it was something similar. His name's actually Ray Charles Robinson, and one of his managers in the beginning of his career suggested, well, why don't you go with Ray Charles instead of Ray Robinson, who was like a famous boxer back in the day. And so Adam suggested, why don't we do it with Will Baxter Band? It's kind of got a ring to it, and we just started. We started playing as much as we could, and Wachira was such a incredible drummer. He, at the time we met him, he was literally like in close to 10 bands. Like he was just like pulled all over the place, and I just kind of had this goal to get enough work throughout the week that he wouldn't be able to play with these other groups, and he'd just play with us. And that's how talented he is and how good he was. And pretty soon he was down to, half a dozen bands, and then 3, and then, over time it was just us, and the 3 of us were playing, 4, 5, 6 times a week, and we played that way for a decade. We had a really good 10-year run. And life happens. Wachira got married, bought a house, and wanted to kind of work more of the day job, and we were playing almost every night, and it's hard on a family and the relationships. And Adam also met his current partner, and they wanted to move up to Minneapolis. And so the band continued with new members, and now we have a new bassist and drummer and organ player, and when the shows are big enough and allow it, we have this great young horn section. And the band continues and going on going on almost a decade and a half. So.
No, that's super cool. This the current band, is it was it a 7-piece member, and will they be playing at the Driggs concert?
We usually play as a 6-piece. For the Driggs show, they just wanted the 4-piece. But we're going to have the horn player who also plays piano, is a great, great young player named Ben Stevens. Okay, Ben, as we say. So he'll be playing piano and organ and also trumpet. And then we have our drummer now. His name is Mike Sorich. And he's been a long time pretty successful musician. He's played on Jimmy Kimmel a couple times. He's toured back and forth the country in like an Allman Brothers tribute band and some reggae groups. And we were really lucky enough to have him interested in taking Wachira's spot. And so he's our full-time drummer now. And our bass player is a man named Andrew Pincock, and he's another staple on the Salt Lake scene here. Great bass player. He does a lot of online work, a lot of videos and editing and producing and directing, and he's got a pretty large skill set. So it'll be the 4 of us, but with Ben, it really does sound like a bigger band with the organ and trumpet. So we're looking forward to Driggs Summer Sounds, 6 to 8, like you said, on Friday,
That's
June
awesome.
12th.
Like you said, that it does sound like a super fun combination, like the piano, the horn, or really the trumpet and the piano, along with the rest of you guys playing. You guys came out with an album called Drip. That's your guys' latest album, right?
Yeah, that was our latest record. It is just fair warning. It is pretty sexy. It's it's kind of provocative. It's got some really racy songs, and it's kind of our latest R&B record. Before that, we did a record called Country Funk, which is more kind of tailored to Salt Lake and Utah, and just more of our kind of take on Americana and folk music and a little bit of country. So that was our Country Funk record. But yeah, latest is Drip, and we just released the latest 2 singles off our upcoming record. And the latest single is called World's in Trouble. So if anyone's going out to stream something or check us out, I would start there. World's in Trouble by the Will Baxter Band. And the other one is called You and I, which is another great, really uplifting song. Basically about like, let's make tomorrow better than today. That's what the chorus says.
Like, what was kind of like the inspiration behind your latest album and the singles that you guys just put out?
Our latest album, Drip, was really brought to life by my partner. Honestly, we started dating like 3 years ago, and some of the lyrics and song titles were things that we'd say to each other in passing, and little like kind of like lovey things that we would come up with, and it just became like this very kind of like sensual, like R&B type record. We kind of were inspired by some old like Ohio Players record album covers, and she's from Chicago. Her name is Stacy, and just that feel just kind of like happened very organically and naturally. And the first song, if your listeners want to check it out, is called We Be. And I'd start with that one, and you'll definitely get a taste for what the album is like and what the kind of impetus to that record Drip is all about.
Yes, I think that's good for people to know, and they can check that out on your website. You have a website called is it willbaxter.com?
WillBaxterBand.com.
willbaxterband.com. And on there, I think something that's cool is you talk about how music feeds the soul, and you really enjoy the performance process of like connecting and giving to like the community where they can listen and enjoy a moment. How would you explain that feeling of live music and live performance?
Well, there's a moment that I can like look back on, and it's happened a few times in my life, but it's always very memorable, and it's basically just like a full body kind of like goosebump like feeling, and it's just this energy and vibration that just like kind of overtakes you in this moment of creating this sound with other people. And I remember the first time I felt it a few years ago, like I just wanted to chase it. And in that moment, you could kind of like feel it like build and grow. And so the goal is really to starters to make us, and, you know, personally to make me and the rest of the people in the band, to make us feel that. And then the goal is to help someone else feel that, you know. And I don't know if you've been to a concert of one of your favorite artists, and you're just kind of, they bring you into this moment and you just get lost in it, and it's timeless, it's transcendent, and it's one of the most beautiful things about music, I think, is this feeling, you know. It's like it's not visual arts, but it's this art that you hear and kind of can almost like take over your body and mind and soul, and you just have this amazing feeling. So our goal when performing live and in the studio is to try to transmit that, try to capture that and create that, and if we can match that with some lyrics and words that also like are impactful in people's lives, I think that's our opportunity as musicians and people, just to try to make the world a better place or a different place, and share something that's really above us and beyond us, but still is very connected, where we all can like connect to that, you know. And in a way it can be very, very spiritual, and that kind of quest into music. I have a few people that come to my mind when I think about that, like spiritual quest. Like the top one's probably like John Coltrane, Love Supreme. Like he's like preaching, you know, through his music. And a more modern but still kind of older example is like Carlos Santana. Like you listen to his interviews and listen to his music, like he's going for that. Like he is shooting for those like spiritual moments, and that's our ultimate goal too. That kind of transcendence, that kind of connection. That's what we really are hoping for.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like music is something that is very connective, and like you said, in a moment, in a live performance, watching like your favorite songwriter, your favorite artist, it really is a transcendent experience. I guess, what would you say to encourage someone to go to your show if they've never seen you before? Like, what would you say to encourage them to attend?
I mean, really, it would come from a place of gratitude. Like, I know everyone's life is busy and hectic, and everything is getting really expensive and like challenging, and that kind of goes back to our latest single, "World's in Trouble." Like, it's tough out here. It's tough for all of us. I mean, we're looking at, I mean, even just the cost of gas to get up and down from this concert is going to cost us like $300 just to like get to a place where we can try to share our music with you. So we know and acknowledge that your listeners are making an effort and maybe even a sacrifice to try to like spend their time and maybe even their money to come support us and see us and listen to us and connect with us in that way. And just know that we're doing the same thing. You know, we want that. We want to like share this with you, this gift that we have. And so really, I mean, we're just grateful that if you would like make that effort. We see that, we acknowledge that, and we recognize that it can be challenging and difficult to do that, you know. And for college kids especially, it's hard. For people older than us, you know, we got to talk about like you got to pay for a babysitter, you know, you got to get on the road, there's just a litany of things that need to happen that like probably come before like going to see some new band or some new music. But I really do feel like we're on our way to something special, and we would love for you to be a part of that kind of from the ground level. And even if it's just checking out our website, willbaxterband.com. If you want to go to our socials, Will Baxter Band on Instagram, give us a follow. If you want to check out our music on your favorite streaming service, listen to that. You know, you don't have to go anywhere. You can do your homework and listen to World's in Trouble, and maybe you really like it. Maybe you add it to a playlist. Maybe you share it with friends or family, and that's all we want. We just want this music to make a positive impact in someone's life. And if we can do that, then we won. You know, we've achieved our goals, and that's really it for us, you know.
I'm Abrielle Millett for BYU-Idaho Radio, and today I've been here on the phone with Will Baxter, and his band will be playing at Downtown Sounds in Driggs, Idaho on June 12th at 6 to 8 p.m. This is a concert you won't want to miss, so go down to Driggs and come see Will Baxter's band. Thank you so much for talking to me today about your band and your music and your inspiration. I'm excited for your show.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you.